Let's bring in the founder and CEO of 361 Asset Management, that's Cy Jacobs. Cy, thanks so much for your time today. Great to have you in studio. I think let's take a few steps back here and go to how the report itself was compiled by 361.
Well, the report itself is really just compiled as a normal course of business. We are an asset management company. We have a hedge fund. And all companies that we research, we compile internal research reports to back up our investigations into these businesses and to support our views, whether they are in fact good value or not good value.
And you found certain things that were troubling for you?
Yeah, so in this particular case, we found various issues which bothered us. And the more we delved into it, the more we found.
So what were the specific questions you were asking?
Well, the specific questions were, how can this company or group of companies, because there are 4 of them, trade at such significant premiums to their net asset values compared to the underlying property values?
Okay.
If you look around the world at international real estate investment trusts or local real estate investment trusts, generally these companies would trade round about the fair value of the properties. These companies traded at significant premiums to that.
Okay, and what did you suspect was happening?
Well, we suspected that this was due to abnormal activity, possible trading activity, maybe share price manipulation, possible insiders, and all these companies seem to be interrelated. So we had our suspicions over how those share prices were in fact created.
Okay, so then Resilient brought in the former Auditor General to come in, and this is their own, they prompted this particular investigation internally, and they came out and they said everybody's fine, nothing to see here. What did you make of that?
Well, I think first of all the scope of the investigation was very limited. In fact, shareholders had been to the board and said there are a number of reports in the marketplace, including 361's and numerous other parties. We'd like these reports investigated, or these allegations investigated. So the board appointed Mr. Farkey to conduct an investigation, but under their mandate. So they had a limited scope. And unfortunately, Mr. Farkey never had the tools at his what's the right word? Disposal to investigate those properly. I mean, he's not the JSE or the FSCA, so it's very difficult for him to actually delve into the underlying transaction.
And why is that problematic?
Well, he doesn't have the data. I mean, the data is not available to you or me. I mean, we don't have that data in our reports. So really, it's the Johannesburg Stock Exchange or the Old Financial Services Board that really has the detail of all those individual transactions and can investigate those properly.
And then they'd be able to make a determination whether insider trading actually may or may not have happened.
Correct. Also, the report, just so you know, has actually not been released by Mr. Farkey. There's just been a SENS announcement detailing some of the findings.
Yeah.
We would like to see what investigations were in fact done, what independent sources were checked, and we will not know that because there's no plan at this stage to release the actual report.
Now, when you say insider trading, what do you think actually happened? What are your concerns?
Well, if you go back to old media reports even, many years ago in this group, there were allegations made by various other publications that there were off-balance sheet entities controlled, in fact, by people who are closely associated with the group that were given funds to effectively trade in the underlying shares of some of the groups. Those trades affected the share prices and in time helped that company gain value, move it up into indices, and create in our minds an unrealistic market price.
When you compare Resilient's value, whether it's NAV or even the PE ratio on the stock exchange to other rates that are trading here, is there a massive discrepancy?
There's a very, very big difference, especially if you compare them to the underlying tangible values of the properties. They trade at extreme premiums, and especially at the end of December, some of those premiums were really unrealistic relative to any REITs we had ever seen across the globe.
Okay, so now we know that there is a probe, at least by the JSE and the Financial Sector Conduct Authority. That's going to take some time. What are you hoping that they will be able to probe then into?
Well, I think we just would like the truth to come out. We would like for them to delve into all those transactions that ourselves and all the other asset managers and independent analysts, some of them have identified, and we'd like them to ascertain how the money came, where the money came from, who spent that money, how come those trades took place at certain times for example, some book builds that were in the market. So it's not only that they took place, but they had very interesting timing patterns of those transactions.
With this resilient independent investigation that they had, they said that they would give, that the AG, the former AG, would speak to you, speak to 361. Did they ever approach you?
He did approach us. I mean, this was a 6-week investigation. We were approached effectively on the last Friday of the investigation. And the fact that they were looking at our report, we found it quite unusual that only right at the end of the 6-week period was I approached. I was away on holiday. I was offered an interview slot on the Monday. And we sent an email saying we would be happy to meet on a subsequent day, as I was away, with the team who compiled the report and our official lawyer. And unfortunately, Mr. Farkey told me that he could not wait to finalize the report. So it was finalized a couple of days after that.
All right. We'll wait for the regulators and their reports. Thanks for your time.